When 18-year-old Vonderrit Myers Jr. was shot October 8th by an off-duty St. Louis City police officer, it became the latest in a string of cases involving police and young black men. A new firestorm of controversy was ignited. Angry protesters once again took to the streets. Another family was left wondering why. In an exclusive interview with News One, Myers' parents, who've been married 14 years, are speaking out against the police account of what happened to their only child and questioning why authorities have not yet released the name of the officer who killed him. They also believe the police and press have vilified Vonderrit and want people to know he was not some out-of-control thug running the street. Here's St. Louis Police Chief Sam Dodson describing what happened the night Myers was killed when an off-duty officer working security followed Myers and several friends through a gangway.
The officer was giving verbal commands, telling them to stop, telling them how to surrender, telling them that they were under arrest. The suspect continued to come towards the officers until they got into a physical altercation. The suspect and the officer were hands-on with each other. At that time, the suspect's gray hooded sweatshirt comes off and the suspect starts to run up a hill at the address on Shaw. At that point, the officer clearly sees the suspect is armed with a gun. We recovered a 9mm Ruger from the scene. The officer says he wanted to be certain that it was a gun and did not fire at that point. The suspect pointed the gun at the officer and fired at least 3 rounds at the police officer.
Vonderrit didn't have a weapon, so it wasn't possible for him to shoot at the officers. Be mindful that the police continue to manipulate their story as we question what they're saying.
But once these pictures surfaced on social media, clearly showing Vonderrit holding a handgun in each hand, with another one sitting in his lap, it's Vonderrit supporters many people began to question.
You've seen the pictures of him on Facebook with guns. What's your reaction to that? Did you know about those pictures prior to?
No, we never seen them, never heard about them until when everybody else saw them, that's when we saw them. We were disappointed. We didn't agree with that at all, and we never seen them until everyone else saw them.
Vonderrit was also wearing a police monitoring device at the time of his death.
What was he on electronic monitoring for?
He had a pending case for UUW, carrying a concealed weapon.
Okay.
And it was a pending case. I want to be clear about that.
He was on house arrest. So what? He's not the only kid on house arrest, but when he took his life, he knew nothing about him. He didn't know he was on house arrest. And I want the world to know that my son was not, he may have made some wrong decisions, but he wasn't an animal. He wasn't just out on the street doing bad things. He was loved by his family. He was loved by the community. He was loved by the teachers.
The side of Vonderrit, the person family and friends affectionately called Droop, is a side his parents want people to know, not the one in media reports. Speaking to the people in the neighborhood where he grew up, it's evident Vonderrit had touched their lives.
I mean, can't nobody do Droop like Droop, but every time we watch Carlito's Way, you know, his favorite line, we always get to it. I look at Droop here, look at me. I'm like, bro, I already know what you're gonna say. Carlito, I'm walking around with a freaking diaper. Look at me. I can't walk, can't walk. Well, find me then, you cocksucker. That's our favorite part of that movie.
How do you feel when you think that people perceive Vonderrit Jr. to be a thug?
I'll be upset. I'll be very upset because that's not him.
Here at the store where Vonderrit purchased his last sandwich, the owners renamed one in his honor. It's called the Droop. So how many people are ordering Droop sandwiches?
Everybody.
And where exactly did the name Droop come from?
When he was a baby, he was real fat and his jaws used to sag.
Like
So his
dog.
cousin named him Droopy after the dog.
Hey, for camera, tell one how he telling the story. Or he explaining something to you.
Bro. I'm trying to tell. Come on, bro.
That's him to a T.
He be like, bro.
Walking.
That's him to a
Is that when it was really funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going to the tree, y'all.
Every day since Vonderrit's death, his parents have stopped by this tree, now a memorial, to reflect on his life.
Love you, Drew. Love you, Drew. Love you, Noodles. Who block?
Drew block.
Who block?
Drew block.
Who block?
Drew block.
Hey.
What answers do you need now?
We want to know why. Why was he even approached? What was he doing? Why did you even approach him? Why? I mean, we just need to know why. We haven't been told anything yet. We need to know why. We deserve to know answers. This is our child.
It's sad to just see that we have to come visit him this way.
Right.
Although his growing memorial, in all its sincerity, may one day disappear from this spot, his parents say Vonderrit will live in their hearts forever. Tim Lambert, reporting for News 1.